Hello and welcome back. So today I wanted to talk about where I'm currently at in my writing. So last time I told you how I'd finally reached to the end, and as I go throughout the next book, I'll probably explain the steps a little bit more. But basically I have my outline phase, my skeletal draft phase, where it's just get the story written, and I don't care about the word count at that point. It's just get the scenes somewhat there. And then we come to the fleshing part, because I tend to underwrite a lot on draft one. And so that's where I'm at in my current phase of my book, is just fleshing it out, because I have a lot to just add in. So going with the theme, I have a skeleton, and now I'm Frankensteining it. I'm putting flesh onto the skeleton. That is the story. So I also kind of was doing the 3 Act 9 Block 27 chapter concept, but I haven't completely stuck with that because I ended up not loving the idea of 27 chapters. Now, I did see an author, and I cannot remember who it was, on TikTok, and she said that for each of her chapters, it's just a scene. The scene is a chapter. And I'm like, well, if I did that, that would make sense. Have short chapters, and a lot of them. That's how I could get to 27. I don't know. Maybe we'll try that in a future book. But for right now, I have roughly 3 scenes or 3 plot things that need to happen. If it's one scene, cool. If it's more, that's fine. But 3 things that need to happen per chapter. And so I've taken the 3 Act 9 Block 27 chapter thing and just kind of chunked it out. So Act 1 is book 1. So everything kind of trickles differently. So my first block is still chapter 1, 2, and 3. And then block 2 and 3. And then I'm kind of focusing on them in blocks now. So as I'm working on getting my word count up, which means adding in more scenes and details and analyzing that's really telling and not really showing the story. Maybe let's change that a little bit. But I also don't know that I necessarily care too much. I'm at a weird point because I'm like, everyone does things differently. Why do we have to have all of these rules? Just read a story. Because some stories, they really do just tell you the story, and that's fine. Anyways, so I'm writing for funs. And so with that said, I have finally gotten block 1 done. So it's just shy by a couple hundred words of 15,000 words between all 3 chapters, which is what I was aiming towards. And so ideally, I would love to have the remaining chapters be at least 5.5K per chapter. So my ending word count is going to be just a smidge under 50K, which is fine. It'll be about the same size as my first book. And so it's coming along. I'm really loving it. So the system I'm currently doing, it seems to be working. Basically what I do is any free time that I have, I will pull out my phone, pull up my manuscript, and work on it. The whole goal is right now just getting the word count up. So instead of blah, 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 he said, I'll add a descriptive something going on. Paint the scene, what's going on in the background. And if it was just and then they do this, add more details. Because again, I tend to not write the details. And sometimes I'll get bored drafting the first one because it's a lot of thoughts to try and pin down. So I'll just use sort of filler paragraphs of stuff needs to happen here. I don't feel like writing it now, but this is kind of the vibe. But definitely change it in the future, kind of an attitude. And so in this phase is when I take those and I'll be okay, let's tackle that. And so it seems to be going pretty well. And so on my lunch breaks, and if I get to work early or anything like that, I'll take a few minutes and work on it because it's on my phone. And we were having tech issues. And if I'm sitting on hold and I can't really do a whole lot, I would just pull out my phone as I'm sitting on hold waiting to talk to tech support that I would add a few words here and there. And in doing that and just forcing myself, when we're sitting down and watching TV, I will pull up my manuscript on my phone and work on that. And doing that, just forcing it in just a little bit, I was able to get it done in a week. which is kind of the goal, because my ideal timeline may not be realistic to a lot of people, but for me, I want to spend 2 months per book. So book 1, draft 1, whatever, it's going to be 1 month. So outlining, first draft is 1 month. And the second month, and even then it's kind of like half the first month, half the second month, is where I'm at now, which is the fleshing out period. So this is where I want to do 1 block-ish per week and take 3 weeks and work on getting those bigger and then send it off, even as I'm working on these. Like right now, I am planning on getting a printer soon, probably this week, because ours died, and printing it off, handing it over, and having my mom look it over, because editors are expensive. So until I can afford to have a professional editor, and even then I'm kind of like, I don't know, man, do I care? Maybe at some point, but right now I don't. And so I'm just gonna happily have her look it over, and I've had my fiance read through it. He doesn't give as much feedback because he's just like, I don't know, man. He's not much of a reader. So mostly my mom. And so I send it off to her, and then she'll edit and look it over and be like, this sentence makes absolutely no sense. And in my brain, it does. And then my final step is going to be probably trying to do an audiobook version. And in recording that, you will definitely find sentences that don't work, because when you actually read it out loud, it sometimes is like, this sentence sucks. So eventually we'll get to that point. But for now, I'm feeling really motivated by everything that I've been working towards. And so I hope you come along for the journey. The goal is for this book to get published in early July, is what I'm aiming towards. But with this being the first one using this method, it is kind of hard to like pinpoint exactly how well it's working, and it's still like very much in like the testing period of like, can this happen? Because like I know now that I could really slim down the time I took for outlining and like draft 1, and just fitting it into my schedule and stuff has been like just the hugest part. So anyways, we're making progress. It's just gonna take a little bit of time. So anyways, I would love to hear how your writing is going. Planning on uploading about once or twice a week over here. If you want more content and you care about like doing witchcraft, I do have a channel for that. And I post there Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then I run a Patreon that's pretty much exclusively, or Patreon, I guess, exclusively for that. Because, I mean, to support an author, just buy their books. That's how you support an author. And subscribe and comment and interact so that the videos eventually get boosted more. But yeah, for the witchcraft side of things, it's like, that doesn't really work out so well. So I have a Patreon instead. So, I mean, if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. I would love to hear how your writing journeys are going and what you're reading and stuff like that. Eventually, I do want to get to a point. I don't know if that's going to happen until I am full-time doing this whole thing. But eventually I do want to talk about either doing like a weekly vlog and like talking about whatever book I'm reading, because sometimes fiction books take longer than the witchcraft books that I do every week, because those are typically small and I go through them pretty quick. Obviously, this is my same setup. Like, this is all of the books that I have either read or I'm going to be reading on my witchcraft channel. But like my fiction books, I've been reading the same one for like 8 months or more. Like, it has taken a long time because I just don't have time, and I have to pick and choose in the little bits of free time what I'm gonna do. And so once I'm full-time doing this, I will open up my schedule a lot, because obviously working full-time, I don't have a lot of free time. I do actually have to work when I'm at my job. Can't just, which is unfortunate because I do have a lot of downtime and it's really frowned upon, but it's like, dude, I could get so many other things accomplished. But alas, we are understaffed, so we usually don't have a lot of free time. But other places I've worked at, if you could just read or write on the job would be great, but they really frown upon that. So until I can do this full time, my fiction reading is like very slim time because I have other things that take precedence over it. But anyways, eventually that's the goal. But I think doing like a weekly vlog would kind of be fun. So like one that's just specifically for writing updates, because again, it's a very good accountability thing, and just kind of, you know, you might get excited about the book I'm writing, and I'd love to hear how your writing is going, and it kind of like might help you also feel like you're having some accountability, because it's like every Tuesday, let's see where we're at. And then probably on Thursdays, eventually will be a weekly vlog of sorts and talking about whatever book I'm reading, and if I finish it, cool, and if not, well, that's where it was, and just kind of going through life. But I mean, they're not going to be terribly interesting because I don't really do a lot, because again, I do this when I go to work, and I come home, and then I write, or I read, or I do witchcraft, and then I hang out with my family for a little bit of time, and then I go to bed, and then I restart that whole process. So one day, soon, hopefully, it will change, but you get to come along for the journey, so it's fine. So anyways, thank you so much for coming along on this rambling video. I'm not going to edit it because I don't want to. I have not the energy to bother with it today. So anyways, that is going to be it for today. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. And until next time, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, all that good jazz. And my books will be available soon, and eventually I will have them posted down below. I will be changing it up for my main book. So the first one that's out, I am planning on redoing it. I don't know if I'm going to change the content much, but since I changed my author name, I do need to change that book. So whoopsies. I don't have access to the original file, so that's going to be a pain in the butt. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you all later.